Bandits close out their season this weekend against Georgia before hosting a playoff game on Friday, April 25th as the number one seed. The captain, Steve Priolo, is with us. Looking forward to yet another playoff run. Steve, welcome to the show. How would you describe the journey that has led this group to first through the regular season?
Oh, it's a rocky one, just like every year. It's a battle about staying healthy and trying to all get on the same page and making trades at the deadline. And it's up and down, but I think we're pretty comfortable right now.
Let me ask you this question about Lucas Nielsen, because I did a Bolt for Bucks event with him, and he was about as quiet as can be. I was trying to get him to speak a little bit. Is he quiet like that in the locker room and during games? Because, man, I know he's just a young kid, but he was a quiet kid.
Marty, he might even be quieter than that. I don't know. It's like he probably talked to you more than he's talked to anybody else. He's just that way. Like he seems it seems like he's taking it all in, and he's like kind of analyzing what is going on in the room. And when you're as good of a lacrosse player as he is, we all just sort of accept the fact that he's a quiet guy, and you just do what you can to try to pull a little bit out of him. But yeah, he's just like that. It's all good.
Is there anything different for you about this team? I mean, Nielsen's young. You made moves at the deadline. You're not exactly the same as you were a year ago, but the offseason mantra after winning a second straight was basically try to run it back as much as possible with the lineup. So what does it feel like?
It feels good. It's yeah, like last year we started terrible, right? It was like I don't even know if we were going to make the playoffs, and then this year we start 7-0. So you never know what the season's going to bring. It's just about each game and each sort of, I know that's a cliche, you just sort of go game by game, but you really have to in lacrosse. You don't know about injuries, you don't know trade deadline stuff, and there's so much that comes with chemistry on a team and getting on the right page that even the games we lost this year, we gained a lot from them just in terms of chemistry and being our togetherness. And yeah, so there's a rocky road, but it's nice that we're hitting a good stride here going into playoffs.
So Dane Smith leads the league in points with 129, and Josh is right behind him at 126. If you had to give the ball to one of them to try to get points, would you try to get Josh closer to Dane or get Dane to just run away with it?
You get the ball to Dane, and then he'll give it to Josh when he needs to.
Okay.
That's what makes them so beautiful, though, right? Like, I'm so fortunate to be on a team with those two guys at this point in their career, right? Like, I guess I've played with them throughout their whole careers in the NLL, but they're hitting a stride right now where they've taken the sport by the reins, and they're running with it. They've made it full-time jobs. They're doing the youth clinics, they're youth leagues, and they're doing such a good job with the sport. Honestly, I'm just so proud of those guys and happy that they're being so successful. And us T guys, me and Paulie and Vino, we're happy to do whatever it takes to ride those guys into glory here.
Kyle Buchanan and Ian McKay might be worthy of some flowers here, though, right?
Well, you go through the whole offense, right? Like these guys up there, they're the balls. Everybody, the points go through Josh and Dane, right? But Bucky had a heck of a game, and Mickey's his scoring is incredible, and then a guy like Dahoka Nanticoke is like, he can play 5 shifts in a row without touching the ball and be the most important guy on offense all at the same time, right? The way he can read plays and set Dane up to get open to find Josh and goes through the middle, and he takes that punishment, and it's just our offense is special when they play together like that. So it's awesome.
Well, for you as a defender, though, like the offense is always want to set up picks and screens and these kind of like get in your way. How do you get around that? Because I feel like you guys defensively have done a good job to be able to get around some of the picks and the screens that everybody's setting up, trying to open up a shooter. Do you just bulldoze the guys over? Or do you got to go around and try to find a different route?
Yeah, a lot like basketball, there's multiple ways to defend a pick based on the offensive guy, right? So whether or not I'm going to put pressure on him going over top of the pick and sort of shoot around and make sure he doesn't get a shot and force him to the net, or if he doesn't have as good of an outside shot, maybe I'll go under a pick and force him to shoot an uncomfortable outside shot. And at the end of the day, how we defend players is all about making Vino comfortable in net, right? So you'd appreciate that as a goalie, is like, it starts with him. What is comfortable for him? we'll adjust everything off of that and give him the shot he wants to see. So hopefully he gets 60 shots in a game and they're all just exactly how he wants them, and he can see them, and that's perfect D for us.
The location we find you in today, is this the setting for your new and regular podcast?
Yeah, so this is Rosso Lake College, and this is where I teach grade 10 and 11 outdoor education. And the log cabin we do it out of is Mrs. Eaton, so the Eaton Center. They used to have this used to be their cottage, so that's her old sewing room that I do it out of with a coworker of mine. So yeah, dinner with the captain. My wife calls it my therapy for the week. So I need to talk about the sport. I need to talk about it. And up here, there's not a ton of people. So I found one guy with a listening ear, and I just talked to him about the weekend.
That's awesome. By the way, when I was in grade 11, I played hockey like literally 6 hour north of Montreal. I was in Amos, which is like by northern, like Ontario, Timmins, Ontario, but on the Quebec side. And gym class used to be all about, living in the woods. So we had survival, like we had to use a map and a compass. We had bow and arrow. We had kayak. We had all of these gym class to be able to. So what is outdoor education? What do you teach in outdoor education?
You nailed it. That's what we do. We're doing in
Okay.
the fall and the spring. We're doing a lot of we're on Rosso Lake College, so it's a massive lake up here. I know some of the NHLers have cottages on this lake, and you'll see PK Subban go by in his big red boat, and all these guys up here, and we do a lot of like sailing, we do a lot of like canoeing, we do a lot of that sort of stuff. But right now it's maple syrup season, so
Yeah.
we did a lot of like tree identification in the winter, and then we figured out, and then boiling and making pancakes. So it's my favorite part of the season is maple syrup, and it's running right now, so it's the best.
There's no snow to put the syrup on and make it the hard, like in French we call it cire d'érable, right? It's like, so we used I had uncles that had the maple shack. And I told Duffer, my parents were actually at the old maple shack just this past weekend, where they have to go collect the buckets of water, put it in and then they snowmobile it back to base. So that's awesome, man. I got to go up there. I'm gonna have to go and visit. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. That's exactly what we're doing, though, is we have the buckets out there, and every day the kids go and collect it, and we're boiling it down. And I always save some, so in the wintertime we can refine it that extra little bit and put it on the snow, like you were talking about. We make that taffy. Yeah.
Yep.
Are you on like elite Wi-Fi or 5G, or what are you on up there? This is a pretty good signal.
I'm literally just on 5G. I'm like, I'm in the woods. It's still I don't know. There's cottages around. There's just no town nearby. So if I have to go to the store, it's half an hour down the road. But it's all just cottage country, and we have 140 kids here that are all boarders, and it's a beautiful place to work.
So what's your schedule like when you have a game on Friday? Let's say, do you come in the day before? Do you guys have shoot around the morning? Like, what is your game kind of? I don't want to say game day, because it's probably like a couple of days of like you have to kind of plan ahead.
Yeah. So if with the Friday game, with our first playoff games on a Friday, I'll go down Thursday night and spend the night in Buffalo, and then I'm there all day Friday in Buffalo at the arena, right? And they're so great here at this school. They just support me fully, right? And with the Georgia game coming up this weekend, it's I'll teach whatever I can on Friday, and then go jump on the airplane, and away we go. And yeah, it's just, you deal with it. And then with the practices being on Wednesday, that's the one that gets me, is because that's the drive down. That's the drive down and the drive back, and get home at 2 a.m. and go teach at 8 a.m. And that's the one that gets you. But, we try to avoid that one as much as we can.
Just another day in the life of a champion. Thank you, Captain.
Man. Thank you so much.